Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video here. My name is Wasted Potential. Today we are looking at all of the MLB stadiums ranked by the fans. Now this is from a company called Review Tracker. So this is a pretty controversial list here. Here I'll give you a little bit of how it works. So basically, they took reviews of all the stadiums, keywords, and stuff, and combined them all into a rating system to rank all the stadiums. So this is really about reviews online when fans come home after games, review their experience. This is basically a summary of all posted experiences from fans. So obviously, probably not the most accurate thing, but an interesting list to look at either way. So you'll see a lot of surprises on here. That's kind of the thing that I like about it. So may not be our actual favorite stadiums, looking at it from someone who may consider themselves like a stadium fan or enthusiast or whatever you call yourself. This is a little bit different. So I personally, this is not how I would rank the stadiums myself, but like I said, an interesting way to look at them. So let's just get started off here at number 30. Not a big surprise here. We're looking at the Oakland Coliseum. Atrocious. I think that just sums it up. There's a reason that they probably won't be playing here anytime soon again. Probably won't be called the Oakland Athletics again. Where are they leaving? I think Anaheim this next season, and then probably Las Vegas or wherever they get moved. But yeah, the Oakland Coliseum, Mount Davis in the back just looks terrible. Really well known for being an awful stadium, and it's hard to disagree with this at number 30. As far as the things that they rank, food, family experience, fan experience, and then trying to remember the other thing, facilities. So this obviously pretty much fails at all of those. At number 29, kind of surprising, SunTrust Park, or Truist Park, what it's called now, for the Atlanta Braves. I kind of forgot to mention, too, this list is from 2022, so Globe Life Field is Globe Life Park, but I switched the two, so that won't necessarily be accurate to this ranking, but I threw it where it goes just for simplicity purposes. But anyways, Truist Park here at number 29. I guess fans just don't have a great feeling about the stadium. I know it kind of came in controversially because Turner Field really wasn't very old before they turned it down. I mean, they did whatever they're doing to it now. I think Georgia State's playing football there before building SunTrust Park, and then it becoming Truist Park recently. So I could see maybe that affecting it, but I don't know how controversial it is in the Atlanta area, to be honest. But this not seen as a bad park at all, so I'm surprised to see it up here at number 29, but Truist Park. Number 28, not a huge surprise. Rogers Center is pretty high up on this list. It's older and it's multi-purpose. You got to remember they play many sports here, including Canadian football, so just like the Oakland Coliseum, that's kind of going to mess up things, complicate things on the field, cause for worse viewing experiences. What's cool about the Rogers Center, though, there's those hotel rooms in the back there, so that's always super cool, but I'm sure as far as facilities go, this is an older one, so probably not the best, and just not not designated for baseball. So Rogers Center here at number 28. Number 27, there's Dodger Stadium. I'm super surprised to see this because I think that the fan experience would be really good. You'd think that the food would be good, and then the family experience would be good. But the facility, I mean, maybe that could be older, but it seems like all around, people just don't enjoy this one as far as the stadium goes a whole ton. I know those Dodgers teams are always really good. And that kind of probably bumps things up for everybody. But when they go back and they look at their experience at the stadium, is it because of the stadium or because the team is good? So I think that's kind of an important thing to remember too when ranking stadiums myself as well. Do you like the stadiums just because the teams have always been good, or is it because it's an actually good stadium? In case of Dodger Stadium, I don't think it's a bad stadium at all, but just doesn't have the highest reviews, probably because of age, missing some high, higher tech amenities, stuff like that. Maybe the food stands are a bit older, things like that. So, number 27, Dodger Stadium. At number 26, another kind of surprising one, Yankee Stadium, not old at all. As you see right there in the top left, is built in 2000. The inaugural season was 2009. Obviously, kind of remade off the old Yankees Stadium, but the new one, I think, is overall just really basic. Nothing too interesting going on with it. Um, it's almost like a copy paste ballpark, other than they throw in some Yankee stuff here and there. It's a historical franchise, so there's plenty of crap that they can throw around the stadium to make you think, oh, Yankees. But when it comes down to it, really not a super interesting stadium, not a bad stadium at all. Plenty of modern tech, modern amenities, good food. So surprised to see it at number 26, but I guess when people go to a Yankees game, they're expecting a lot more, and they don't get everything that they maybe were expecting. So interesting to think about there at number 26, Yankee Stadium. At number 25, really surprising myself because I really like Wrigley Field. I like pretty much everything about it, but sitting here at number 25, again, it's probably because of older amenities, stuff like that. Yeah, it's really not a whole ton I can think of that's wrong with Wrigley Field. The capacity isn't huge, though. Um, that's really all I can think of because it's cool. Maybe there's some obstructed sight lines, but that's very few seats. I couldn't see that ruining a whole ton of people's experiences, so not 100% sure what this is. Maybe the food's not that great. It's been a long time since I was at Wrigley Field, so can't say I recall. So Wrigley Field up there at number 25. At number 24, we have Lone Depot Park. Really bad to see a $1 billion stadium at number 24 on a fan sentiment ranking. Obviously, super high tech amenities, really recently built. The roof closes on it. I mean, the food must not be good. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's the family and fan experience. The team's never good quality. The field's bland and it's weird. That thing in the outfield, whatever it is, I don't know if it's still out there, but it's weird. But a really nice ballpark, beautiful view of the stadium out that big glass window, which I think is a great feature. Controversial whether the opening roof is any good in baseball. I personally don't think it's good in any sport. Those things break and they just cause issues. Either have it open or have it closed, or have it be closed with a translucent roof. I think that's probably the best way to do it. But number 24 here is Lone Depot Park. Number 23, we have Nationals Ballpark. I don't think it's that surprising. It's kind of known for being a mid-stadium. Not bad at all. Great in terms of transit, but, pretty basic. Larger ballpark. You have those 2-3 decker stands out almost far out in right field. So not always a great look. Nowadays, stadium capacities in terms of baseball are getting smaller, so usually a more compact look with a better view is what's sought after. In the back of this one, it's basically just a bunch of flats, so it's nothing super interesting. Food, I'm sure, is middle tier. I'm sure everything pretty much at Nationals Park. I haven't been there, but I'm sure it's all probably pretty middle tier. It looks mid, so I think that's the best way you can sum up Nats Park. At number 23. At number 22, whoa, this would be last on my personal ranking. It's Tropicana Field. One thing I never noticed, though, about Tropicana Field, that logo is perfect, though. It's like an orange, with orange peels, but it could also be like an umbrella there, but it's the roof of Tropicana Field. I really like that. That's cool, but other than that, it's complete shit. What I was surprised by is I think wherever I got the capacity from, it was saying it was only 25,000 or 30,000, but I think it's bigger than that. It's just that they close off those. You can see it in this picture. They close off those top deck seats, so that's sad to see. Tampa Bay, obviously, kind of a struggling franchise, looking to get a new stadium sometime soon, but it's just doesn't seem to be working out very well. Ceiling is known to be terrible at Tropicana Field. And balls get lost in the catwalk. So, horrible stadium here at number 22, Tropicana Field. At number 21, really surprising. I'd have it in the top 10 myself. I love Fenway Park. home of the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, you have the Green Monster out there in left field. Classic ballpark. I believe it's the oldest in the MLB. Yeah, definitely. And then Wrigley second. Obviously, you have some obstructed sight lines. Don't know why this is number 21 though, because I've heard the food's there is good. It's probably a good family experience, and the fan experience has got to be great. So really cool ballpark. Surprised it's here at number 21. Not a whole ton to say though. It's one of the best in the league, Fenway Park. At number 20, we have Guaranteed Rate Field. Who would ever have Fenway behind Guaranteed Rate Field? So this is one that is the owners are looking to rebuild it. I don't blame them. It's just a boring park. It's in a bad part of Chicago. Franchise may be looking to move possibly, which would be scary. I think it's just kind of cool that Chicago has two of any pro sports team, and I think it deserves it. It's a big city. We don't see that a whole ton in the U.S. other than in New York and Chicago. So, boring. Guaranteed Rate Field. That's why there's not a whole ton to say about it. I'm excited to see if they possibly rebuild. And what's up with those things that looks like it's almost like the peppermint candies above their Jumbotron there? I know there's a story to that, but I can't remember. Those things are weird, though. But at the end of the day, Guaranteed Rate at number 20 here, probably pretty fitting. Number 19, we have Minute Maid Park. One of those rare stadiums. I think it looks better when the ceiling is closed, when the roof is closed. But, I mean, you can see in this picture with it open, I think that's just ugly. But known also for kind of being a middle-tier stadium, I feel like. But those Astros fans, when they're doing good, can get pretty rowdy. But nothing super interesting here. I like the train in the outfield whenever they hit a homer. That's pretty cool. But Minute Maid Park here at number 19, not super surprised when it's based off of fan sentiment. But the Astros recently were a pretty good franchise until they started slamming on trash cans, and then stuff got complicated. So number 19 though, Minute Maid Park. Number 18, we have Angels Stadium of Anaheim. I think a lot of people have been kind of urging the Angels to make a new ballpark. I don't know if that's true. I can't remember how old Angels Park is, or Angels Stadium, but it doesn't look super old. Again, nothing special here. Those rocks in the outfield is maybe what it's most known for, and that's just horrible. That and like this has like the mitt and the was it a baseball or a baseball helmet outside or a bat? Can't remember, but it's kind of one of the big things with the stadium too. Boring stuff, nothing super interesting. Deserves a middle of the row spot here at number 18, Angels Stadium. And number 17, Citi Field. I think it's one of the better ones on the MLB. It looks good. I think it looks a lot better than Yankee Stadium. I think it's quite a bit better than Yankee Stadium myself. Better one in New York. But obviously home of the Mets. Boring, not super interesting, but like I said, the outside's pretty fun. Seems to be well taken care of, nice facilities. Not super surprised to see it here in the middle, but I would maybe place it a spot higher to myself. But there's Citi Field at number 17 here for the Mets. At number 16, we have Target Field, home of the Twins. I think it has a pretty nice view from the upper decks and from that third baseline. I think it has pretty good views of Minnesota. I've always heard it's pretty decent facilities, nothing super interesting. Honestly, Target Field is perfect at number 16 here, but, Minnesota with an open top stadium can get kind of sketchy in the early spring, and even if they're playing in the fall. But Target Field, number 16, that feels right. Number 15 here we have Chase Field. Another big new stadium that they spent a lot of money on that should probably rank a lot higher than it is, but I know this one's pretty controversial. Some people don't like it. I personally really like the roof on it, but a lot of people don't like that. I like the windows. I think the Jumbotron placement's pretty bad and right in dead center with the batter's eye right below it. But, apart from that, not a whole ton to talk to about it. I know facilities are decent. I put that teal Diamondbacks logo in the top right corner, though, because I love it when they use that. Obviously, I think a lot of people agree with me. It's one of the better logos in the MLB when they use that one. And those unis are tough. So that's kind of my thought on Chase Field, where those alternates. Number 14 here we have, well, it would be Globe Life Park. I don't know how that would have been number 14. I hate that place. It's just a frying pan, just like the old Ranger Stadium. But the new Globe Life Field, I think a lot of people see it as a failure. It reminds me quite a bit of Minute Maid Park, but I think it's ugly. But in the interior, it's nice. I love that Jumbotron placement. I think it's great covering up those outfield seats. Quite a bit of outfield seating in this stadium, though, but Texas, that Dallas Fort Worth area is pretty big now, so can probably fill that up come playoff time. I'm sure they do, but I can't quite remember what that was looking like during the playoffs. But yeah, they definitely sell that out for sure. But again, nothing super interesting here. We're at the middle of the list, so not a whole ton to talk about, but I know facilities here, obviously brand new. Tech is good, and facilities are clean and new and working as they should. Number 13 here, we have American Family Field, one of my more favorite ballparks. Love the roof on it. I've heard the food here is good. Hopefully they have some good beer, as they are the Brewers. But I think that the placement of the stadium is a little bit weird. I haven't been there, so I can't say for sure. But I think it's one of the better stadiums in the MLB. And number 13. No, I think this is a little bit. I think you could place it almost in the top 10 myself, but I know I wouldn't yell at anyone for placing that number 13. So I don't think that's actually too bad. But here on American Family Field, number 13. Number 12 here we have Comerica Park. I like the view from the outfield, or I like the view past the outfield. I don't think a whole ton of people love Comerica Park, but the view's nice. The rest of the stadium, though, kind of reminds me of that issue with Guaranteed Rate Field. I think it's just boring, to be honest. Just reminds me of a more boring version of PNC Park a little bit, with the placement of that Jumbotron there. But pretty good placement here in terms of the city where the stadium is. Like I said, it's a good view of the outfield. It's right by Ford Field, so a lot of times you can share that parking, not waste all that surface parking lot, which can be just really wasteful, not get used much, and is pretty bad for cities. So Comerica Park, nothing special here. I wouldn't have it above Globe Life Field myself, and I wouldn't have it above a couple of these other stadiums. So, but here it is at number 12. Number 11 is Busch Stadium. Definitely a way it should be in the top 10 for sure. That view alone is good. Heard pretty good stuff about it. Obviously, the concessions aren't too bad. I know that the family experience and the fan experience is great here. Teams haven't been good as of recently. Maybe that kind of determines things. But I love that outfield grass sign with the arch on there. That looks really good. But Busch Stadium, kind of a classic, even though it's a newer-ish stadium. But here at number 11 doesn't seem quite fitting, but isn't atrocious, I guess. Here at number 10, we have Citizen Bank Park, home of the Phillies. I think this one's just more relevant as of recently, but it's a good park. Always heard pretty good things about it. I don't love the placement in relativity to the city, but the view is good from past the outfield. That bell was classic. Still up there, that's right. But, placement, everything's pretty good in terms of the outfield and the interior of the stadium. And, I've heard pretty good things about the fan experience in terms of food and all that stuff. But number 10 doesn't seem terrible to me. At number 9, here we have Petco Park. Another one that should definitely be placed higher. Is known for a pretty good view. Is known for good facilities. Known for good food. I want to say it was the first ballpark to have dogs in it, and that's got to help the family experience and stuff. But I always heard good things about Petco Park. Surprised to see it here at number 9, but I guess this list is people weren't voting directly for what their favorite stadium was. They were just leaving their review for how they felt when they were at different stadiums. So, that makes a little bit more sense when you break it down that way. But here it is at number 9, Petco Park. Number 8, we have Coors Field, home of the Rockies. You hit dingers out here, even though it's got a big outfield. A lot of people love Coors Field. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's basic. I don't like that outfield seating way back there. Um, Batter's eye is okay. Kind of interesting trees and stuff like there. And then, yeah, I mean, other than that, it's nothing that special to me. View is of the sky pretty much, and that's it. Um, but I know a lot of people like it, so I wouldn't say atrocious putting it here at number 8. I imagine that the facilities are pretty good, and the food is pretty decent. So there it is, a number 8 Coors Field. At number 7, we have Progressive Field. A lot of people like Progressive Field as well. I think it looks pretty cool. Love that retro classic look. This is one, either the first or second or first couple of those retro classic ballparks. I think it looks great. Obviously, it hosted an All-Star game pretty recently, so the MLB is liking it. I'd say it's not controversial that it's up here in the top 10. Um, but again, I mean, honestly, not a whole ton to say about it. It just pulls off what it needs to really well, and looks good. And nothing really major had to change with the name being changed from Indians to Guardians, so that's kind of a good thing. But here it is at number 7. At number 6 here we have Great American Ballpark, home of the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, you just get a view of the river, and I believe it's in the direction facing off towards Kentucky. I could be wrong, though. I don't think it's anything super special about Great American Ballpark. It's probably just because it punches well for its weight that it gets up this high. The steamboat in the outfield's kind of interesting, but other than that, it's pretty basic ballpark. I do like the area around it. You know, I've been to Cincinnati many times, and I know the food around the ballpark is good, so that probably brings up the fan experience there. I didn't mean to click on that, but number 5 here is kind of a good segue. Kauffman Stadium, home of the Kansas City Royals. I personally don't love this stadium. The look is weird. That's not what's controversial about it to me. I just feel like it can't work that well. It's old. I don't like the placement of it relative to Kansas City. It's got to be a pain in the ass to get out there for Royals and Chiefs games. And I know there's a lot of talk about Arrowhead and Kauffman possibly being torn down and them building new stadiums for both teams. So we'll see how that goes recently, or how that happens, in the future here. But they still have the fountains in the outfield. I hope they do. Doesn't look like it in that picture, but that was one interesting thing at the Royal Stadium. But has seen a lot of history here, but I'm personally not a huge fan of the stadium, but looks okay, but it's old. That pretty much sums it up for me. At number 4 here, we have Safeco Field, home of the Mariners. Placement right by Lumen Field isn't too bad. I know I've heard a lot of decent things about this. I know you used to be able to have if you had a DSI, the DSI, the ones that could connect to Wi-Fi and stuff, you used to be able to download an app and I guess order food or something from a DSI at Safeco Field, because it's like Nintendo was part owners of the Mariners or something like that. But that's kind of an interesting thing about the park. Other than that, not super interesting. I like the overhang off in right field, and I think that looks pretty good when it's open like that. And but again, nothing really pops off the page for me at Safeco Park, but definitely is good. I don't know if I'd put it this high, but it's a pretty good stadium. At number 3 here, we have AT&T Park. The top 3, by the way, is, well, as you can expect now, because you know what they are now, is pretty good on this list. But AT&T Park here, obviously home of the Giants, always been known for being a great stadium. You can hit balls out into the bay there past Levi's Landing. They have the big Coke bottle there with the baseball glove. Always known for being a good stadium. I imagine the fan experience is good. The food out there in Cali's got to be great. So that's why it's number 3 here. Deserving of it. I don't love the center placement of that Jumbotron, but there's no perfect way to put up a Jumbotron, so I can't really complain about that. But that's really my one big gripe at the stadium. But other than that, awesome stadium here. Giants are lucky to play here. Here at number 2, my personal favorite stadium, but I'm a little bit of a home dog. Love my Pirates. PNC Park, obviously the home of the Pirates. It's hard to beat the view of this. Obviously, I think it's the best view in the MLB. I think a lot of people will agree. Now, does that put a stadium up this high? I personally say no, but it's a great stadium, awesome stadium. Apart from the view, obviously the bridges, the river, the city, that all sums it up in terms of the view. But I think the placement of the jumbotron's good. I like that placement. I know I was getting that. I think it was Comerica Park for that earlier, but I'd rather have it out in left field than in the center. Um, but other than that, PNC Park, I know they have. I've been there many times. They have great food. Family experience is good. I've been going there since I was young, and obviously outside and around the stadium is a nice area. The North Shore's got on a lot better recently, especially with Heinz Field and PNC Park being placed there since 2000 2002. But an awesome view. Hard to dislike PNC Park. And then at number one, as everyone knows now, is Oriole Park at Camden Yards. I'm not personally super surprised that the fan sentiment list put this at number one. Known for being a great stadium. I like it. Very few gripes with it. I think the Jumbotron's too small and too far back, and it's just out of center field in right field. And then that triple deck leaking into deep left field. I'm trying to see here is no, yeah, PNC Park is not like that, so that's another reason. I just it doesn't have to be a huge stadium to be a nice stadium. I think a lot of times teams get carried away with making a big stadium. But I love that warehouse in the back, right? The view is good. Overall, just is really good in all categories. So that's I'm not surprised it's up this high. But Oriole Park here at number one on the list. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making this list quite a bit. Again, this is compiled by Review Trackers, so this is done by them. Was not my own list. If you guys disagree with it, it's not really based on my opinion or really their opinion. I mean, they can skew stuff all they want, but ultimately it comes from some reviews. So that's how this list got made. But again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you're enjoying the channel so far. I'm still working on things, making things better quality. Just hope you like this video, and you guys continue to follow along. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be making new videos soon. Thank you guys so much.